So with the South Node in Virgo, we're talking about a person who feels inadequate in some way. There's this constant vague sense of guilt, even shame, that isn't really connected to something specific, but it's just there. Virgo's archetypes is the perfectionist, one of them, right? So who can live up to that standard of perfection? Nobody. Now, with Virgo, it's like everything that you do, you see what's wrong with it. You see what's wrong with everything, including yourself. There's also something that's self-punitive about Virgo. And this may have to do with coming from, if you believe in reincarnation, a prior life of living in a context of either very like a Puritan, harsh religious context, or being shamed racially, ethnically, even in the context of family or school, like being under the thumb of a harsh disciplinarian. That can shatter your ego really quite well. And that's the wound that Virgo South Node people carry to this world. And Virgo is the perfectionist, the craftsperson, the servant not in a literal sense of, being someone's servant, but wanting to help, wanting to develop a useful skill and, constantly perfecting their craft. But because we're talking about the South Node, there's this kind of a fussiness and a constant thinking about, am I good enough? Did I do this well enough? Always looking for the mistakes, you could say. Now, Pisces North Node calls us, well, for one thing, it tells us that you or whoever has this configuration, you're ready to let go of some of that. I hope all of that self-punishing attitude and surrender to what we call the absolute love of God. The idea that you're unconditionally loved. It calls for surrender. It calls for getting out of your mind, because Virgo is ruled by Mercury, right? And Mercury has to do with our thought processes, with our perceptions. And if we perceive ourselves, as inadequate, guilty of something, we're ashamed of ourselves, but that's just a perception. It's not the truth. So the idea of meditation, for instance, as a means to get out of your head is a good idea for Virgo South Node. The only problem is that you might see a case of this person meditating and thinking, oh God, I'm not doing this good enough, right? I'm not meditating long enough. I'm thinking about all the things that I always think about. But no, to me, I think meditation can also, doesn't have to be strictly this kind of meditation, even just doing something creative, writing, drawing, dancing, music, listening to music, doing music, anything that can help you get out of your head and merge with what we call, in Pisces language, consciousness itself. The idea is we're all one, we're all connected, we're all these drops of rain that fall into the ocean and merge with all the other drops, right? But Virgo is the opposite. Virgo has an eye for the detail. Virgo is discerning. It's the analyzer, which is wonderful. Only with the South Node in Virgo, we know that kind of attitude has run its course. Let's put it that way. The person we're suffering, and therefore Pisces lessons need to be learned. And letting go of the idea that I always have to be, the good boy, the good girl. I always have to do everything as it should be done. No, don't forget, you're unconditionally loved. Love of God is absolute. And if you engage in things that are otherworldly, those experiences are going to become part of your consciousness. And that self-doubt, that kind of constant bashing yourself is going to erode. So if that resonates with you, if you have any thoughts about that, let me know, and I will see you next time.